Happy Monday, everyone. This is Stacy Turner with our DMOpro Zoom. I hope you had a great weekend. And, I have found the end of the month, the last couple of days, or even the last week of the month to be an excellent time to invite people to join your team. And so Kurt talked about this last week in his Zoom that he did, just sort of wrapping up conversations that you've had. And we get the chance to do that in the next couple of days with our company and our business. So we want to really make sure that we are taking advantage of that. And really, these conversations need to be happening all the time, but it's sort of at the end of the month, we're revisiting those conversations that happened at the beginning of the month, and we're trying to bring people back to a place of closure, meaning like starting up and joining in with us, but it's circling back to those conversations. So what I wanted to talk with you about, one of my team members, Chris, and I had coffee on Friday, and we were just talking about, like, why did people join us? Why did we join this business? What brought us to the table? What interested, us to the point where we said yes? And she has some team that people that she would like to invite to her team, and then some people on her team, and I do too, recently, who have joined in and said yes. And I think that's partly because of the free product that our company is offering to them, and it's been a part of the conversation we've had in inviting, that maybe just don't have the bigger picture of the why they're starting. Like, why are they saying yes to this? And if it's just for free product or just for getting money back, that's kind of where they stay small, and you don't really see them take off and do, great things with this business. But it is up to us to create a bigger picture, to cast vision.
Unless family members really want it
and understand it. And then other times they just don't, see that until they've had a deeper experience with the product themselves. That their belief builds to the point that they want to share that with other people. Sometimes that can take a couple of days, and sometimes it can take months. Sometimes it can take years, right? We don't know. And I think that that's what I want us to get in our mind. We don't really know what's going to drive somebody, or what's going to get them to say yes, or what's going to get them to start sharing, or if they're going to have a great experience, or I didn't really have an experience. I just started sharing because I was like, how do I know about this and not tell other moms? And so every person is different. Their life background is going to influence their belief in themselves and their confidence in themselves, where they may have a really strong belief in the product, but then they just have sort of a weak, belief in themselves. And they're constantly thinking, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm enough. I don't know if I can do this well. And that's not unusual. Every one of us has that at some point. I still think that. Can I really lead them? Like, if I invite that person to my team, will I be able to lead them well? Like, they've got life skills that I don't have. Like, they're better at this whole life thing. They're in the cool group. I don't know, whatever things we can make up in our minds. And we just think, should I really start the conversation with them? And I just want to encourage us, yes. And it's a lot of planting seeds. It's a lot of listening to the needs that people have, and then planting seeds all along. And it's not just one seed, you have one of those conversations. I guess it is one seed, but it's watering that conversation and giving them a little bit more information, another piece, and circling back around and seeing, okay, now that need is kind of changed in their life, and maybe this is what it is. So we were talking about different things, just like, why do people join this business, and why do they say yes? What's going to encourage them? And so we made a list of words, and it kind of kept coming up with a C word. They all started with a C. And I said, okay, let's see if we can, pull this together and really think this through. Like, why are people attracted to this business? And so I made an infographic that I'm going to share with you guys, and I'm going to give it to you in boards, and then also put it on our app. But within boards, if it gets here, okay. So this is what we're looking at. So the 7 C's of inviting. All right. Now, most of the time, we talk to people about saving some money, right? Hey, you can get some money back on your order. I would say 100% of the people we talk to would like more money, no matter what. They would like to save money or they need more money. Even people that are really, strong professionals and have good jobs or get paid well or have multiple businesses, like there's still, that's something that drives them then, is earning money. And often the money that we earn is a reflection, definitely in our business, of the people that we're influencing, but it is a reflection of, the time somebody's putting into their job. So it kind of becomes a reflection of ourselves. And so I just want to encourage you, think through where cash or money back is probably the entrance into the conversation and the first thing we're thinking. It's not a bad entry point into the conversation. It's probably what's going to like pique your interest first of, oh, I should tell her about this, right? Because we want them to get a kickstart back or box, or we want them to get some money back on their order. I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to go into a conversation with. It's probably one of the first things you're going to recognize as a need that they have, but there's something underlying that feeds that. Okay, so let me give you an example. And this is seasons in life that are going to change of why that's what's going to feed that desire. So when my kids were in elementary school, I really wanted them in a private school. So cash was my motivator because I wanted to pay for that private school. It was $1,200 a month. I needed to pay that. We didn't have it in the budget outside of what I could bring in with Juice Plus. And so that was a motivator to me at that time. But underlying that, yeah, the cash was the need, but the desire was for my kids, safety in the school that they were in, like-minded families, a smaller environment. Like it was deeper than just, oh, I need some cash to pay for this school, right? So the cash might be there, the money issue or need is there, but there's something that drives that money as well. So another thing, when my kids were really little, I wanted to stay home with them. We had a $2,000 mortgage to pay, and my husband's internet business crashed with one email overnight. Nothing, from thousands a month to nothing with one email. Cash was definitely my motivator because I wanted to stay home with them. Okay. So as we go down this list, the cash was the motivator, but there was a change in my life, change in our lives, and a challenge in my husband's life that drove the need of that cash higher. Okay. So if I was just an entry point into this business at that time, if somebody saw that need in my life and they only spoke about cash, it could have, been something that piqued my interest. But what if they had spoken to the challenge that my husband's internet business failing put on our family, the change that, him working from home, the challenge and the change was going to drive the need for that cash as well. So that's what I'm asking us to look back on. Now, the problem is often we speak to people with what brought us into the business, what interested us versus what is the interest that they have. What's the need that they have? What's the motivator underneath the initial need that you see? Do you ask questions to really find that out? Or are you really quick to get into that conversation and tell them, hey, I'm trying to build this business and I like the way that you work. I think you'd be great at this. You should join me. That's not going to get somebody to join your team. That's about you and what you need. And hey, you should serve me. If that's where we're coming from, a place of inviting, you're going to have a very small team and you're not going to feel authentic when you're inviting that way. You're not going to get the same results. You're not going to have a team that's driven and really, motivated and moving forward because it's their motivation. All right. So I want you to think about that as we're reading this. Cash brings a lot of us to the table and a lot of people to the table. But one of these other 6 C's are really what is going to be more of the drive for them. So watch for the season in people's life. Things change. Swing back around into those conversations, even with your team members. All right. we have team members that have stayed for decades that are just happy to hang out with us, but they're not really motivated to do the business. What has changed in their life in 10 years that might, bring a stronger sense of, okay, I'm ready to do this. So let's talk about these as we go down. We're going to talk about community, cause, challenge, change, celebration, and connection. I came up with a whole bunch of more C's, but I was like, this can only go so long, right? So some of them are, I think, going to fit into some of these categories as well. So community, we need people in our lives to do life with, not just to co-work with, right? Because you can work at a job and you can have coworkers, but that doesn't mean you have a community. Really, there's very something unique about what we have, a community of people that build us up and that encourage us and that motivate us and tell us, like, you can do this, and push us to growth. Guys, outside of Juice Plus or this type of business, I don't have that in my life. Maybe some at church, within the church group that we're involved with, you'll see that, if you're in a really active church. Just the personal growth and connection that comes with a community of people doing good work together. And what we do is good work. Can you guys really grasp that for a second? What you do is good work. It's not selfish to build this. When you build this and you're inviting to your team, you're getting a group of people together. You're building a community of people that are doing good work. That's a good thing. That's a good investment of your time. So, is somebody in your life looking for community? What about people that have just joined your town, a group that you're in, that you've been a part of for a long time, or somebody who's just moved into town? Having been the new person, a lot of times, to have somebody step out and start a conversation with me as the new person means everything. You be that person. Who's new? Who haven't you seen? Go talk to them. Just start the conversation. They're looking for community. If you're moving into a new community, and like, we live in this really small town, when we moved here, nobody needed me in their life. They had friends, they have family, generations have lived in this area. They did not need me in their circle. I needed them. I wanted to be in their circle, but they didn't need me. I could not just wait for them to start the conversation or notice that I'm a new person. I said, hi, I'm the new person. I need friends. Would you like to go to lunch? Literally, it was like that. And they were like, sure. And some of them I've made really good friends with. I'm having lunch with her today. I saw her yesterday. She came, or a couple of days ago, at the coffee shop. She came and gave me a hug, and I said, we need to do lunch. And she said, we so need to do lunch. And I said, Monday? Or I said, when? And she said, Monday. And I was like, it's in, I'm putting it on my calendar. I'll see you Monday. But like, that was one of those conversations. Hey, I'm new to town. Our girls are friends at school. Would you like to go to lunch? Right. That's building community, inserting yourself into community. But I really thought, how do I serve this community? Who's serving in your community? Who's well known? Who knows everybody? Who's involved in a lot of things? Busy people get things done. That's who I want on my team. They've got a great network. They've got a community of people around them. They know people like them already. They trust them. They know them. They'll want to do business with them. Okay, let's move to cause. I thought of like compassion, caring, a cause. All of those words could go in here. How many times do you ask somebody on your team, why did you say yes to this? What do you want out of the business? And they say, I just want to help people, right? Okay, that's good. Like, we wouldn't be here if we didn't want to help people, if we didn't have a heart for caring for people, if the compassion of the need of somebody else's life doesn't move us to action, we wouldn't have said yes, in the first place. There was some desire of that for everyone. But what about a deeper cause, like a purpose in someone's life? We have a gift to share. Who in your life is purpose driven? They're involved in a lot of causes. Think about the Tower Garden, philanthropy groups and people that volunteer a lot in different groups, Rotary clubs and Elks clubs. Ask if you can be a speaker into those groups. I was just asked to speak, in tomorrow at one of those groups because of, they see me as somebody that's a resource here in this area. And so they've invited me to come in and be the speaker. So who's cause-oriented in your life that they are looking for purpose? Again, what we do is very purpose-driven. We're impacting people's lives. Let's share that gift with them. Let's invite them to be a part of the cause that we have and show the bigger picture of what we're doing as a collective group. Let's move to challenge. Who has a struggle in their life, such as like a job that they no longer feel valued at? Yeah, they need money, right? So you thought, well, okay, why don't you build this business so that you can quit your job? Okay, maybe that's it. That might be of interest to them, but can you recognize the challenge that they have? Do you see that? Is their life like just really stressed because they don't have flexibility? They don't have the time freedom that they would like to have. They're just at a higher stress level than what they would like to be living at. Maybe it's somebody who loves a challenge. Okay, so that word could go both ways. You recognize the challenge in somebody's life, but also somebody who really likes the challenge, who's competitive. They're in all the mud races and they like the challenge of doing something hard, and they're encouraging people like, come on along with us. This would probably be someone who like teaches exercise classes and is very driven on a challenge basis. They like to go hiking. Maybe even somebody who takes on the challenge of homeschooling. That's a challenge, right? They recognize that and they're going to move forward with that. So they're somebody who encourages other people to do hard things. Again, who's someone who gets things done. That's who we want to be involved with. I don't want somebody who is on my team that watches TV a lot and just says they're bored and they just don't have anything to do. They're not very driven. I can't teach drive. That's going to come from within. I can emulate that. I can show them. We can talk about it. But if someone just doesn't have drive in their life, that's going to be really hard for them to accept the challenge of stepping out of their comfort zone. They're going to want to stay small, play small. Drive is something that has to be internal and comes from within. And these different things can be what drives someone as well. When you're having the conversations, bring this back into that as you recognize it. How about change? We all know that timing is everything. I mean, really, timing is everything. Circle back around to people. Who's just retired? This gal, Chris, that I went to lunch with, she had told me she had just retired. She was ordering Juice Plus for herself and then wanted to add for her husband. So she was a happy consumer. But I just saw the drive in her and I thought, she's not going to be happy just hanging out, riding horses every day. Like for a while, that was what she wanted to do. That would satisfy for a while, but she's too driven in her everyday life to just be happy being retired for longer than probably a couple of months. I actually showed her the DMO planner, and that's what got her excited because she missed having a planner from at work. She was a planner person. You just never know. It was like there was a system in place. She saw, okay, this is how you work this. I could do that. So how about the last child entering elementary school or going off to college? I think about myself. My youngest is a senior this year. What if I didn't have Juice Plus? I think I would feel a bit lost as a mother. Like my purpose is leaving home, like who am I? What am I doing? I don't feel that way because I have developed myself over the last 20 years. I have a lot that I'm excited about and working towards. And my kids aren't my whole life, but there's a lot of people that has been their whole life or their job has been their whole life. And that change can really kick something in gear to their like, okay, I want something more. What does this look like? I want more in my life than this. Maybe they are having to go back to work. They have little ones at home, but they need the finances and they're looking at having to go back to work. That's a change in their life. Somebody who's recently gone through a divorce. Yes, the need is money, right? At that point, it could be money, but maybe it's just a change in life circumstances that's going to bring them back around. Maybe they've lost their spouse. I mean, think about Melissa Quayle's story. She'd lost her husband, and it was that life change that really was a drive of, I have to keep us well. I need to keep us healthy. I need to be healthy. Who's going to college and needs income? That's a change in life. My niece just joined my team. Miley, if you watch this, hey girl. She's in college now. And she said, Aunt Stacey, when I was little, people asked me, what do you want to do? And I would tell them, I want to sell Juice Plus. And I was like, what? I didn't even know you said that. And she was like, yeah, but she had a lot of hesitations. Can I do this? I'm like, can I do this well? I don't want to let somebody down. I don't want to fail at this. And, we had some great conversations, but it was that college change. She wasn't interested in high school, but now she's paying her own bills and she's going to college. She has a drive to be a naturopathic doctor. Like, that change in her life triggered the need to want to do this. How about somebody who has aging parents that they're supporting and caring for? Who's caring for them? Do they have a community of people that are positive and they can tap into in such a difficult season? Who just had a baby, that's going to be going back to work in 6 weeks, or deciding, I really want to stay home with this child? That's a life change that can initiate a conversation. Celebration, we thought of this one, like, people just want to have fun. They want something fun in life. Nobody claps when the mama does diapers and dishes and laundry. No one ever. But I loved the recognition of getting to QSC and then getting to sales coordinator and having my name called and a little plaque. I still have them, right? All the way up to, like, that was something that did drive me. I just, in my mind, could not fathom staying as sales coordinator. Like, I was going to get to NMD. I didn't know how long it would take me, but I was going to do that. I wanted the celebration. I could see myself on stage. I picked out my song that I wanted to walk across the stage with. Like, I love the recognition side of things. Who loves fun and might be missing that in their lives? Who loves a party and might come to conference with you just because you asked them? They're like, yeah, I'll go on a girls' trip. And they know it's about Juice Plus. You can't just be like, we're just going to Phoenix. And, oh, by the way, we have these meetings to go to. Like, be honest with it, but like, invite them to see the celebration that we have as a company. That's a lot of fun. Who in your life loves getting together with friends and hosting events at their house? That's somebody who's going to probably be open to hosting a health event if you ask them to, and inviting their people to come. Then they've got, they're a consumer, they've got other people excited. That's an easy in of, hey, you should do this with me. You're already doing it. Lastly, connection. So human connection is super important. Think about your introverted friends. Okay, this is an interesting one. We're always thinking about who's involved in everything, who's talking to everyone. Introverted people are the best listeners, and people love them, because people like me that talk all the time, I need good listening friends. They're going to have listened to the needs of a lot of people, right? They're going to already have this list down of, oh, I know who to ask in this season of life because I've already had them share with me XYZ. They're more alert, they're intuitive, they're usually have like a deeper compassion because their empathy level is higher, simply because they listen more than they talk, which we can all learn from that. So, invite them to join this. This isn't just something for people who live life big. This is for everyone. They're looking for connection too. Invite them in. Hey, come on along. I love that from Wendy Camel. Come on along. Who's someone that is just like you? You are your best client. Which season of life are you in? Connect with people in that same season. Your story is going to connect with them in a different way than, if I'm a homeschool mom and I'm, talking to somebody who has no homeschool kids, but that's all I'm talking with. I'm not really connecting with what their need is. But if I'm a homeschool mom and I'm talking to other homeschool moms, we're in the same life, that life season, that connection alone is going to be something that really brings that conversation forward. people do business with people that they like, they know, and they trust. And that means connection, that they're able to connect with. So let's be the conversation starter, be bold, be brave, be a good listener, ask questions, and then you just got to invite. It's a lot of planting seeds. And I want to go through one more to give you an example of somebody that I invited to my team. She's a consumer. She's been on Juice Plus for years, probably at least 10 years. I have invited her to be a part of this before. She is a customer of mine, lives in a different state. She's a teacher, just diagnosed with ovarian cancer. She's young, and now she's going through treatment. She called me and said, look, we're having to cut our budget, but I said, I won't cut out Juice Plus. I have to have that. But what would you say is the most important, the basics? If I can't do, one, what is the most important? So she ended up dropping her omegas and she's going to stay on the trio. So I met her where she was at, but I also invited her back in. I kind of missed the boat, I think, with her in talking to her about the cash. And I just said, look, finances are tight. I get that. As you're around people going through the same experience, you can share with them you're thankful you have this. What if you shared that with other people? And having something to focus on outside of just illness, I don't know, it might be of interest to you. Just kind of keep this in mind. I don't think the conversation was bad, but I think really this is where I should have leaned in and really dug a little bit deeper into, she's going to be around some really sick people as well. She's going to see the need that they have in their health. She's going to be in different groups on Facebook, probably for ovarian cancer survivors. Like, she's going to have a story and a cause to, champion behind, to really bring people in, of like building a community, but also like the cause in her heart. She's a teacher, educators are for a cause. And so I kind of missed seeing who she is. And as I did this, I went back to that conversation and I was like, I think I led too strong on the cash side, when she's really, it's going to be the cause that probably drives her. Yeah, the cash need is there, but that's probably not what's going to get her to say yes. And so just knowing that, I can, bring that back into conversation as needed. But that's just one example that I thought of. So I would love to hear from you guys. Do you connect with this information? Which of these brought you to the table? And then in your conversations of the last person you invited, what really is outside under cash, what's driving them? So let's open to anyone who wants to share.
Stacy, I just want to say what a powerful training, because I think we all get kind of in a box that, like you said, that they're going to need cash. But this list just opens up the box that and you're right, we need to go back and start making a list. I think it was an amazing training, really got the wheels turning for me on who to talk to, how.
Excellent. Thank you.
And just a reminder, everybody's muted, so you're going to have to unmute to talk.
Hey, Stacy, I totally agree. This is a fabulous tool, and I plan to use this even today on my team call to share with my team. I came to this call thinking, okay, I've got team call today. What am I going to share? And now I know. So this is fabulous. Thank you so much. You are such a gift to this community.
You're welcome. And that's what I hope, you guys. Again, I've said this before, do not just be a consumer of information. Take this and go teach your teams. Go and bring this into the conversations, even if it's just one-on-one, or if you have a team call, use this to feed others, along the way.
Stacy, I actually used one of these with my last partner, who actually happens to be my go-getter. She has done other direct marketing sales stuff, but she just wants to help people. She is also new to our community, like myself. And the two of us together, it's become a way to reach out and meet everybody else. So I love that. And I am going to use it on my team call too. Thanks.
You're welcome. Excellent. Anyone else?
Stacy, everybody's asking if they can get this flyer. Didn't you say you're going to put it in the Voxer chat?
I am going to put it in the Voxer chat, and then I'm also going to put it in the free section on our app for you guys. And I've built this page so I can send the graphic. I'll send this page to you from board so you can just upload it to your own boards or save it. But just kind of a little bit of what we discussed today in the training, and then I will put that in there. So I'll send this out to you guys in a couple different formats, and then it will be housed. Its home will be on the app.
What, excuse me, what app are you talking about?
Okay, it's you can find it DMOapp.com. And this is the app that I have for us that use the DMO planner. And there's some options in there, some mini courses I've created and do training on. I'll be adding to those as well, but this will be in the free section for you guys.
And then how do we get added to the Voxer? I see some people talking about the Voxer group.
Whose team are you on, Talia?
I'm under Mitra.
Demetra Ray. Okay, let me see if I can find you on Voxer. You have a sweet name that's not too common, so maybe I can find you real quick. Let me stop recording this for us, though. I almost forgot that.